Howdy, partners! Welcome to the Haunted Chronicles, episode 120. Thank you to last week's guest, Heather Wade. Heather is host of Midnight in the Desert, and you can hear her at midnightinthedesert.com. And if you missed that episode, it's available on the on-demand section, and we're going to talk about that later, too, because we got a weird voice last week on air. We have a guest tonight, Cheryl Lynn Carter, who is waiting in the Haunted Chronicles green room and will join us shortly. This week's episode is sponsored again by An Evening with Annabelle. On September 10th, the New England Society for Psychic Research will be hosting a lecture, a slide presentation, and dinner. You'll also hear actual audio recordings from the Enfield haunting. It will also include a tribute to Ed Warren, and you could take a picture with a real Annabelle doll. For ticket information, visit warrens.net. I am Mr. Haunted, and I'm joined by Jennifer, the telepathic babe, Runyon, and the babyface assassin, Brock Burroughs.
Holla.
Fellas?
Hey, Jimmy.
It's also brought to you by Spam.
Oh.
Thank
Speaking of Annabelle, Jimmy, I know you saw my pictures. I was walking around an antique store in Lexington, and there were two Raggedy Ann dolls. Mm-hmm. And I totally forgot. I saw Dave's message about going live, waiting for me to go live. I didn't see that until I was already gone. And but yeah, I sat down and I was like, oh no.
I used to have them when I was a kid. I had she was my jam. She was my girl. I loved my little Raggedy, and I had Raggedy Andy too. And now Annabelle's kind of took over.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, see, and that's where I said, if they were able to use the real, like a mock real doll, like a Raggedy Ann doll, it would have freaked more people out, because who didn't have one in the house?
Mm-hmm. True that.
And Jennifer.
Yes.
Did you notice I called you the telepathic babe?
Yes.
Congratulations for making TMZ without any bad publicity.
I know. Was that kind of fun? So for our guests or listeners, the TMZ does that whole Remember Them segment, little thread. And they had me number one today in the very beginning. And I was just shocked and honored. And at least they did a nice picture of me, Could you imagine if they'd gone through my photos and found one of my, icky ones? I would have been devastated. But at least it was a nice one.
Whatever.
Photos.
Hey, I'm a girl. Come on.
I made TMZ too, but for other reasons.
Okay, so Dr. Doolittle. Dr. Doolittle. What's going on over there? How's Davey?
Yeah.
If any of you guys follow my Facebook page, I had another encounter with a small woodland creature last night. He was a little baby raccoon. He was in the corner of the deck all by himself, and he looked lonely, so I fed him a taco. That's all we had. And he ate that.
Crunch.
I gave him crunch berries, a bowl of water. I had a lot of requests that said that raccoons like to wash their food in water.
Aww.
So I gave him water, and then if you saw the last video of him, he backed up and fell between the rail and fell backwards. It was the saddest thing ever. As you could see his face, just like the look on his face of desperation. His little hands came up to catch himself, and he missed.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
But I do have a story.
Yes. Tell us.
All right. Last week was Heidi's birthday, my daughter, and I was shopping at Toys R Us, and a couple of kids came to the help desk asking for a game they couldn't remember, and they said it has a Pop-O-Matic in the middle, and I immediately knew that these guys were looking for trouble.
Yeah. I got it.
Thank you.
I got it.
I don't sing or dance, that's it. You know what I'm going to do with that?
I never liked that game.
I didn't understand the thing. You just move around.
I didn't either.
Thimble thing.
I know. You wanted it to be cool,
I like Operation.
Ooh. You know what else I wanted to do,
that
you guys?
Scares me.
Operation?
that Jimmy likes it.
Oh, what about Mousetrap though?
That was a good game.
I wanted Mousetrap. I love that.
I have a question already. I'm sorry. I have a question from the chat. Why did I name him Davy? Because somebody said they make a hat out of him, so I named him Davy Crockett.
Oh,
yeah, like the coonskin hat.
Yeah, his name is Davy Crockett. His full name.
Yeah, very cute.
Oh,
very cute.
How are you guys doing? Oh,
what?
How are you guys doing?
Hey, well, I'm doing good. How about you, Brock? How are you?
I'm doing well. I cannot feel 90% of my body right now because I forgot to get up this morning, so I had to do both workouts before the show.
Which 10% can you feel?
My head.
That's good.
For me, that would be 80% of my body.
Oh, wow. So, right. Jimmy.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I am happier than the Panamanian fruit frog eating a cupcake with pink frosting and those little sprinkles on it.
Yeah.
Like Ferdinand Magellan or something. Hey. Wow, you like that one.
Oh, it's just so random. It's so random and weird. It's brilliant.
I don't know why he popped into my head. I think he's an explorer or something.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think that's brilliant. That was very funny.
And I don't know why that connected a pink cupcake with a frog.
That's what I'm saying. So random.
I don't know. Before we do, we're going to bring on our guests in a minute, and we'll do our celebrity birthdays. I do have some breaking news. Breaking news.
Awesome.
This is from the NBC Connecticut website. This is probably local, but this is the headlines. Mild winter leads to chipmunk invasion. Now, I got to say, that's the cutest invasion you're ever going to see.
Oh, right?
It says, a wildlife biologist says the mild winter we had has allowed chipmunks to reproduce on a high level and allowed their population to grow. There's also an abundance of maple seeds and acorns, which are the small animal's favorite snack. So much food has allowed chipmunks to breed vigorously.
Well, look at that. They're getting frisky and snacking.
I just don't understand how they see maple seeds and they say, "Hey, let's
go behind
the tree there, pal."
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of people are complaining that there's holes in their yard or something. But that's a damn cute invasion right there.
That's so cute.
They said if there's ever it's an old tale that if you had a lot of acorns I think it's in the fall, that it meant that there was going to be or it was either if you had a lot that you saw, it was going to be a snowy or cold winter, or if you didn't see any. I can't remember which one. Like I said, I'm working on 10%. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm sure Dave will Google it and let us know.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cute, though.
It is.
And the weird thing with squirrels on campus, they got so used to all the students walking around that they will run like right next to you.
Oh, yeah. They have no fear.
Yeah.
They have no fear. They've been fed. They've been, they know peanuts. Oh, nuts. You're going to give me something. Yeah. Yeah.
Now the little chipmunks know. They'll shoot out. And it was so funny because someone... we were walking in and we overheard someone go, "Look, there's a little squirrel." And we're like, that's a chipmunk.
That's a chipmunk.
Wow. They didn't pay attention in school at all.
No.
Our guest is waiting very patiently in the green room. I'm babbling way too much. Our guest tonight is a medium, a remote viewer, paranormal researcher, and more. She's the author of Whispers Behind the Grave, and she has so many great stories to tell that I'm going to get right into them. And Cheryl, please join us in Celebrity Birthdays. Cheryl!
Scary movie celebrity birthdays.
Welcome aboard. How's your time so far?
It's been really good.
Thanks.
Welcome, Cheryl.
Hi.
Welcome.
Okay, now she's ready for that. Now you're going to put on your cap for the definite birthdays, right?
No pressure.
No
Okay.
pressure.
These are people that appeared in scary movies that have a birthday next week. Kevin Bacon was in The Darkness, Hollow Man, Apollo 13, Tremors, Friday the 13th, Flatliners, and of course Footloose.
You go first, Cheryl. You're our guest.
63.
Brock?
63.
Jennifer. I'm going to let Jennifer go.
Oh, wow. 63. Okay. Sorry, that was my phone that rang, so I apologize, guys. I have it off the hook now. Okay, Kevin Bacon. I'm going to say 59.
I'm either thinking 60 or 59. I'm going to go with the awesome Jennifer and say 59.
He'll be 58. Very close.
Wow.
And-
Okay, we were close.
And we're going to celebrate Kevin Bacon's birthday with a song from Footloose at halftime.
Awesome.
Harrison Ford, who was in Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Paranoia, Cowboys and Aliens, What Lies Beneath, and Witness.
Ooh.
One of our favorite movies there.
Mm-hmm. I love that movie.
Jennifer wants to be Amish.
I want to be, well,
I lived among the Amish. Will again.
yeah. Okay, what do you think, Cheryl?
65. I know he's kind of been around. Got a lot of gray hair.
Yeah, lots, right?
Yeah.
Still looking good, though.
Yeah, right?
Oh, my.
And he's married to that, oh my. And married to the cute little Callista Flockhart.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go higher because I think he's older than we think he is. I'm going to say 72. Yeah.
I was thinking you were going to say 75, so I was going to go lower. And I'm going to say 74.
Good
Okay.
choice, Brock. He will be 74.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
He looks damn good.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, yes, he does.
And now,
My.
82 we had a guess of. And Didi Khan, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
And I don't care if she wasn't in any scary movie. She was a freaking pink lady in Greece.
Yes.
How old will Frenchie be next week?
Aw.
Remember, she was in
Cutest
high
girl
school.
ever.
You know,
Cutest girl ever.
she dyed her hair pink.
Yes, she did.
She looked like an Easter egg.
What do you think, Cheryl?
I don't know who she is. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, did you see Grease? Did you see Grease?
Yeah.
Okay,
I can't
remember the
it.
girl? Remember the girl who, did the hair and he sang and Frankie
Avalon.
Jimmy
Avalon.
sang Beauty School Dropout, and she was the girl that, remember her with all that she always did her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Frenchie. Didi Khan.
50.
50. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna say 63.
65.
Those 5 homes were for the letters of Google. 65 is correct.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Good for you,
Very
Brock.
good. We got one
You're
more.
just acing these. All right.
I'm sticking with whole number, or yeah, easy numbers.
Yeah.
10%.
Angelica Houston was in Martian Child, The Witches, Manhattan Murder Mystery, and the 1991 movie The Addams Family. She played Morticia.
Yes.
Angelica
Yes.
Houston.
Beautiful Angelica. Morticia Addams.
70.
Ah. I was going to say 70. I'll go 71.
She will be 65.
Oh,
Sorry.
65?
Yeah. You want to take a guess, Brock?
Brock, what do you think?
It's okay, Jimmy. I had no clue. They both went 70s. I was thinking she looks older than 70.
Well, that makes her like 10 years older than me. I thought she was a lot older than me.
She looks old in the Addams Family.
I know. That's why I thought that was a long time ago. I said it's got to be older.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard to judge actors and actresses because they change their appearance so much for movies that you kind of, if you know them from one movie and they were supposed to be older in that movie, you get a false representation. But.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that was fun.
That was a hoot.
And
Cheryl, we were talking, you were in the chat last week.
Yeah.
And we got a strange voice on the chat, which I think we have lined up that we could listen to. And you have a story of your own.
I got several, yeah.
Yeah, you have lots of great stories, and I want to get to them all, hopefully. But Dave, you have that clip ready from last week?
That I never knew I always wanted.
Okay,
right.
That's...
For anybody that missed it last week, that was Heather Wade.
I still can't figure out what she's saying.
Now, Dave, do you have the reverse copy of that?
Yeah, maybe it's backwards.
Because I did play. He said he played it reverse, and he sent me the clip, and I played it reverse, and it sounds different.
I heard doctor with a long, extended doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you reverse it, it sounds different. I'm not going to tell you what I think it says, but he's getting it. So we're going to stall for about.
Okay, we got to hear it.
Well, Cheryl can tell us her story while he's finding that, if you'd like.
Well, what we're listening to, it's called ITC, Instrumental Transcommunication, and that's when a spirit can come over the radio. They can come over the telephone and call you. I don't know how they dial your number, but I actually had a couple things. One thing, I had my phone ring one night, and I picked it up, and there was just all this static on the line, and I thought somebody's having a bad connection. And then I heard a woman's voice, and she was really far away, and she's going, Cheryl, hello.
Ooh.
And I knew it wasn't a person calling me on the telephone. I have no idea how they dialed my number. That is freaky.
Yeah, how do they dial the number?
Yeah. I'm going, whoa. And then another time I was on Skype with my friend Christina Rake, and I had my recorder going as we were talking. She was doing a reading for me, and I was telling her about this missing person that I was trying to help. She started talking to me and showing me where her boyfriend buried her. And that led me back to Illinois and to a spot that I thought I found. And so I was telling Christina about it, and I says, well, I don't know if I'm in the right spot because it was private property, and I can't go in there right now. I got to figure out how to get in the exact spot where she was telling me. And when I played the recording back, we heard nothing at the time. When I played the recording back, I heard, ooh, Veronica.
Yeah. Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
Oh, it was,
Is he alive?
It was spooky. Very, very. So I'm pretty sure that I was in the right spot. I can't wait to go back there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I think Dave's got the reversed one.
Oh, good.
All right. Play that magnificent bean footage if you have it. All right. I'll say what I hear.
Yep.
What?
Who is that?
Yep. That's what I heard.
Wow,
Who is that?
What were you guys talking about right before she said that? I can't remember.
She was talking about her near-death experience in the hospital.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I had just said to her how profound and what an amazing experience, to have that happen. I mean, how, to see that, to have that happen to you, and that you saw something, there's an afterlife, and wow. And then that happened. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? I listened back to the whole show when it was on demand the other day, and on replay. And in the beginning of the show, we were talking about how sometimes things come over the air, and I was either Heather or one of us said, "Leave us alone for 45 minutes at least, so we can get through the show." And I want to see how close it was to that time to see like when the 45 minutes were up. And okay, now you're getting it. I want to see if that's...
Wow, that would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was towards the end though, because you remember
Right at the end, yeah.
So
yeah, that was pretty interesting, right?
And you know what? We have also a late breaking news.
Oh.
Cheryl just shared with me minutes ago something that happened to her this week that we didn't talk about. That we're...
Oh.
I love that. It sounds so professional.
I love that too.
So we have breaking news. Cheryl, can you tell us how you helped someone this week?
Well, I was just on Facebook fooling around like I always do, and one of my friends posted a person that was missing. One of her friends posted a picture that their brother was missing. And I looked at the photo, and immediately I was drawn to him. And so I printed out his photo, and I'm looking at him, and then I did something called remote viewing, where I can look at the person and I can stand right next to them where they are.
Oh.
And I saw he was sitting under a bridge near a river. There were rocks around the edge. He was very sad and depressed. And so I was talking to one of his family members in the chat box, and I was explaining what I saw. She goes, "Yeah, I think I know a couple places like that." And then she says, "We're trying to call him, but his phone's turned off." So I was there with him. I sat down next to him. I held his hand. I said, "Your family loves you. I love you. Everybody misses you. They want to bring you home and help you." I said, "You're going to be okay." I said, "But you need to turn your phone on, because I can't turn your phone on. You need to turn your phone on and call them, tell them where they are so they can come get you." And about a minute later, she popped up in the chat box and said, "He just called me." So they brought him home alive, so that was so good.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And also, we're sharing your links in the chat. But for people who aren't in chat, how can they find your Facebook page or your book?
My book is on Amazon, and my Facebook page is just under my name. You can find two pages. One is my regular page, and one's my author page.
Right. And on Amazon.com, it's called Whispers Beyond the Grave,
yeah.
by Cheryl Lynn Carter.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy,
yeah,
this just in.
Yes.
Dave said it was the last 4 minutes of the show.
So that would make total sense.
Oh.
It was, yeah.
I almost don't want to
That's
look it up,
weird.
because if it's off, then it'll ruin it.
Wow.
Nah, we're looking it up.
I know, it was right at the end.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said the last 4 minutes. So
Wow.
that would be, the show would have gone for, 54 minutes, roughly.
Thank you, Dr. Davey posted the book in the chat. Last week I didn't get to the share page. I'm going to do half of them now.
Okay.
These are people that shared our event page, and they deserve thank you. Lisa, Joe, Bill, Damien, Bonnie, Tracy, Eric, Tiffany, Brian, Jason, Rick, Corey, Valerie, Jennifer, Lisa M, Nicholas, Mary, Karen, Amy, and Fuzzy, Mama D, David, Howard, Joe, Russell, Maggie, Junebug, Paul, Frankie, Tony, and Maria, Bobby, Christine, Debbie, Susan, Candy, Claire, Damian, Paul, Randy, Laura, Dwayne, Kevin, Sunny, Linda, Terry, Patricia, Mike, the Feline Philosopher, Chad, Charles, Anthony, and Eric, and Roxanne. And I probably missed some even on top of that. But we have a couple minutes left before break. And Cheryl, could you tell us about your first paranormal experience when you were a kid?
Well, my first experience, I was 4 years old, and I was visiting my aunt's farm with my grandma. And I was staying upstairs, and everybody was downstairs in the morning, and I got up, and I was going to explore in the room next to me. I thought it'd be kind of cool in there. There was all these old trunks and boxes, so I wanted to go looking around, rummaging in them. So I opened up one. It was just full of hats. I said, well, that's not fun. And so I saw this really cool trunk, and I start walking over there, and I saw a little boy standing there.
Ooh.
And he was about my age. And he stuck his hand out and said, come play with me. And his hand was really cold, and I pulled my hand back, and I went running down the stairs, and I never told anybody about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is creepy.
Yeah.
And you never saw him again, that particular fellow?
I never went back in that room ever. I didn't know what was going on. I was 4. I was never going back in that room again. Wow. I didn't even tell my aunt till a few years ago that she had a ghost up in her house.
Now, had she ever felt anything or seen anything herself?
No. Wow. Nothing at all.
And it definitely wasn't some little fella that was getting grounded and he was stuck up in the attic, right? We hope not.
Yeah. I could tell that he was real sick one night, and his mommy put him to bed, and he never woke up. I knew that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got that. You just got that from you've had that feeling, right?
I could, when I meet a spirit, I can, they tell me their whole story.
Wow. So you sense it. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
We're at the halftime break already. On the other side of the song, we're going to hear about Waverly Hills, Bobby Mackey's, and some haunted farms. So stay tuned to Haunted Chronicles with Cheryl Carter. Back after this. Welcome back to the Haunted Chronicles, and thank you all who have joined us in chat. If you're not in chat, please go to paramaniaradio.com. Thank you, Dr. Dave, Kara E., Randy, Paul, Dead Dude Chad, Tiffany, Mad Max, Wolfman Mike, Brock, Tony, Lisa M., Indy Dwayne, Belinda, Eric Lynn, Cass, Denise, Doug, Desi, Bang, Vicky, and Nicholas. And Corey, who's listening. Oh, next week's guest is Andrea Message, a paranormal investigator who was a skeptic until 2004, until she had a dramatic encounter with a ghost. We're going to hear about that, and she wrote the book The Ghost in the Coal Cellar. Can't wait to hear about that story. And back to Cheryl. Okay.
All right.
So, we wanted to hear your story about Bobby Mackey's. Your visit to Bobby Mackey.
Yes, that was so cool. This is the weirdest thing I always told people. I've never been scratched. So the guide starts taking us just on a little tour before she lets us loose, and we're just right on the dance floor, just got in there, and she said, okay, I just want everyone to know that tonight you will be touched, you will have your hair pulled, and you will be scratched. And as soon as she said that, my arm started burning. And I put the flashlight on it, and I had a scratch from my wrist all the way to my elbow.
Wow.
And I'm going, somebody else look at it quick, tell me there's only one line, not 3. I was just a little concerned about that,
Yeah.
But it's only one.
Now, is the touching and the scratching more on the females that come there, or is it on anybody?
I think it's just a lot on the females.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, that was old honky tonks. There's just a lot of guys hanging around there. And the mob used to be there,
Exactly.
So
and didn't his wife was the one that was complaining in the beginning when they moved there, right? That she was pregnant and they pushed her down the stairs. And,
yes.
Wow.
Yes. We could tell when we were down the basement, you could feel like these people were surrounding you. You couldn't see them, but you could feel that there was presence around you. And I think it was like these mob guys, they were trying to scare us. And we go, you're not scaring us. Then the batteries would die on the camera. And we go, that's not going to stop us. We'll just go upstairs and get some more batteries. We don't care, But I think they were trying to scare us.
Was that... They warn you as soon as you go in, you're going to get scratched. And what else was it?
Yeah.
Your hair pulled, right? Your hair pulled.
I did not get my hair pulled, but I got scratched.
Did other people get affected, or?
They were getting touched and had their hair pulled. I'm the only one that got scratched. I guess that's because I just said I've never been scratched. Like I was tempting them or something. I really wasn't tempting them. I just made a comment.
Oh. And I want to hear about a haunted farm.
Yeah, my friend has a farm up in Upper Michigan, and he said there's some spirits on there, and they're working on a movie about it. They got catching a lot of EVPs there and stuff, and so they asked me if I would come up and investigate it and see if I could connect with anybody there. So during our investigation, we did a little spirit box session, and we were just talking about a man who lived nearby, and he had killed his wife and her family because he was getting divorced, and he didn't want her to get divorced. And so he was coming through, and he wanted us to know that he killed more people, and he just didn't get credit for it. He really killed 12.
He wants credit
He killed them. He killed them, and he buried them on the farm, and he buried them out in the woods. So that's what we're trying to investigate, if this is really true.
Ooh. So no, so did you look back in records or anything and see if anything like this happened? Any crime on that property?
The thing that I was having victims come to me, and the thing I was seeing was that he went to some little bar. It's like a little country town, very small. He went to some little bar, and he would approach people that really didn't have a family or friends, so no one really missed them. And then he'd bring those women back, and he'd have sex with them, and then he'd kill them.
Right, and nobody would really report it missing because they were either, living a life that their family didn't approve of, and they were,
or there's somebody, that just, would hitchhike or something, so they were just people. And the one woman showed me that, like, he was the way he killed them, he would strangle them with wire. And she showed me, she goes, this is how he killed me. And I could feel the wire around my throat. I go, okay, I got it. You don't have to show me. I hate when they show me how they die, but they do that. Yeah, and so so we're trying to walk around trying to find some places that, all we got to do is, find bones in one place, and then we can get an investigation there. So we're looking, and the one time we were out in the woods and we're just walking around, and we said, anybody out here that wants to tell us what's going on around here? And we heard a voice say Emmett, and we says, all right, okay, Emmett, you got a story to tell? And then we heard another voice say, be quiet, like they didn't want the story told. So that's kind of interesting.
That brings I have a question about that. When you investigate, do you just use your abilities, or do you also use tools while investigating? And what do you use?
I do both. I always have my recorder.
Did you capture anything of Bobby Mackey's on video or audio or anything?
On the dance floor, we heard a man say axe murder.
Wow.
And I've never heard that mentioned at Bobby Mackey, so that's very interesting what that meant.
Never heard that EVP before.
No. So that's kind of interesting. What did that mean? And
then I have. Also, you've been to Waverly Hills,
and
I don't know much about Waverly Hills. Could you tell me about the little history about it and what happened?
Waverly Hills is a sanatorium for people with tuberculosis, and it was actually, I've seen pictures of it back in its day. It was a very beautiful, beautiful place, and I was there a couple of times now, and it's so active. And the first time I went there, a little girl spirit comes running up to me, and she goes, I'm afraid. What are all these people doing here? And I didn't know why there'd be a child there, because I didn't know about the history. And I says, it's okay, we're coming to visit. And she goes, okay. And she turned around and walked right through the wall. Yeah, right through the wall. And then later on, I found out that they did have children there. The whole top floor was children, which a lot of people didn't know there were children there. And that place has got lots of children spirits walking around. You can hear them playing. They got a ball there, and they'll move the ball around.
Do you think it's more residual or?
Oh no, because they're playing ball with us.
Right.
Put the ball down, they'll move the ball. No, and I've gone there, and one time I was there. Johnny Zaffis was there, and he's doing a spirit box session. And we're sitting on the floor, and this little boy came up behind me, and he's tugging the hood on my sweatshirt. And this little girl sitting on this other side tugging my arm. That's not residual. They were there.
Wow.
And then we went down the death tunnel. That's yeah.
Is that the one that the bodies used to go?
Yeah, it was called the box chute. Yeah, and they would send them down this. This was way at the edge of there, and they would send the bodies down there so that the patients didn't see that, and think about their impending doom that's going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we're walking down there. It's a 500-foot incline. Really dark. All you see is a little speck of light down at the end of the tunnel. It was pitch black, and I had my recorder on the whole time, and we're just laughing and joking and all this. And when I got back up to the top, I said, let's play the recorder while we catch our breath. All kinds of voices. Like people saying, help, watch out, turn it back. And the scariest one, when a guy said, turn around and touch me. I'm glad I didn't hear that one.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I gotta get out more.
I know, right?
I'm going, oh, boy, okay.
Oh, my gosh.
And then we were in another room, and as soon as we got in there, the recorder picked up, hurry up and hide. It was a little kid. So I don't know if they were telling the kids to hide or what, And then a woman said, look out behind you by your butt. And so I don't know what that was all about. I was just picking this up on the recorder. I go, was someone touching my butt? I don't know what was going on.
Oh, my gosh.
It was just crazy. All the EVPs, it was just everywhere. And that's not residual. They're all talking. Was that crazy?
Yeah, that is insane.
If
So
Jimmy
now-
if Jimmy had $1 for every time a ghost touched him on the butt,
I could buy a Happy Meal.
You could buy.
I've been touched on my butt, but not at Waverly.
Yeah. Now, can I ask you a question? Like, because the first time you ever remember, even feeling, because you're a medium, was when you were 4. And so this little boy, you got from this little boy that he had been very sick, and, his mom had put him to bed and he never woke up. I mean, you just knew this. This is the information you were getting.
Yeah, I knew it.
Did this happen a lot to you when you were a kid? I mean, was this something that you could be in someone's house and you were seeing things other people weren't seeing, or was it a slow process that, just slowly things were coming to you? Or how did that work?
I think I was seeing things and things were happening, but because I didn't realize what it was, I just kind of said, okay, that happened, I mean, it's always happened, because I remember I was maybe 5 or 6, and I'm walking up the street with my grandma. We're going to visit her friend's house, and somebody had a tree they cut down, and instead of cutting the stump way down, it was like 15 inches up. They left it that way. And I just remember walking past it one day thinking, they got to cut that down. Somebody's going to hit their head. And I don't know why would I think that.
Right.
And then...
Especially at 5.
Yeah.
We're not thinking
what's a kid think about
That's
that?
a mom thought, right?
Yeah, what's a kid care about a tree stump? And I remember thinking that. And then we heard the hoot owl up in the tree, and Grandma said, uh-oh, did you hear that? That means something bad's going to happen when the hoot owl's talking. And the next night, this was there was a big hill going up to that street, and there's a tavern down below, and this guy was drunk. He got in his car. He went speeding up the hill. This little boy was 12. He was just crossing the street because he lived right across the street. He was just crossing the street and the car hit him, and he hit his head on the tree stump and died.
Oh my gosh.
And I just knew somebody was going to hurt their head on that tree stump.
I want a hoot owl. Just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah, I have a hoot owl, Jimmy. I have one.
You have a hoot owl?
I have a hoot owl.
Send him to me.
I will.
Why does he have to be so far from me?
Does he predict things?
I'm gonna do a live chat. I'm gonna do it and send it to you.
Okay.
That'll be my gift.
Right,
My live video.
Does your owl predict things?
I gotta ask him. But it's seriously, it's out there all the time, and he's busy. He's very loud.
Oh, he might be telling us. Listen, yeah.
I know, right? Right?
Huh.
Okay, so this happened then at 5, and then when did you finally go, okay, why am I getting all this information? When did it start getting concerning to you, or did it?
Yeah, well, when I was in grade school, because they like to come to you at night when you're in bed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. And I would just have like nightmares. They'd come up right into my face and stuff. And you know the old story about don't let your hand or your foot hang over the side. Well, I never did because I knew there was something under the bed.
Of course,
that wasn't made up. I know there were things there, and I made sure my hands and feet never hung over the bed. I still don't let them hang over the bed.
Why chance it?
But now I tell them now they can't come in my bedroom at night because I have to sleep because they want to talk to you all night. You have to put up boundaries, but I didn't know that when I was, in grade school.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we get to the next story, I have to get these out of my head because I won't be able to sleep this week. Also, shared our page, Independent Paranormal Research Circle, Paranormal Planet, Electric City Paranormal, On the Fringe with Art Bell and Heather Wade, Big Bear Ghost Seekers, The Crew from the Demon Files, Interviews from Beyond, Ghosts and All Things Paranormal, Paranormal Cat, Appalachian UFO Research Society, UFOs, Paranormal and Government Agenda, Paramania Radio, Edge of Fear, Realm of the Unknown, Boneyard Paranormal, Research Group, and FemForce. Okay, thank you.
Wow.
And then I had a couple more things written down if you want to talk about. I wrote the USS Edison and Ohio State Reformatory.
Mm-hmm. It's Edson, USS Edson.
Oh, Edson. I wrote Edison.
Yeah, everybody always does that. Yeah, it's a Forrest Sherman class destroyer, and it did many tours in the Vietnam War. You probably saw it on Ghost Asylum a little while ago.
Okay.
They just investigated it too. It's called the Gray Ghost of the Vietnamese Coast, and that's because they were out in the DMV and they got hit, but it wasn't that bad, and they got to take the ship back and repair it. And then when they came back a year later, the Vietnamese saw the ship and they said, that can't be them because we sunk that ship, and so they start calling it the Gray Ghost. So that's how it got its story.
Oh, that's how they got that name.
Yeah,
interesting.
That's a pretty cool story. It's not just a name somebody gave them.
Right.
Ghost.
Yeah, and there's.
Come back in 2 weeks. You're going to hear more about that. Okay. Shh.
Okay.
I'm going back there again in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
It's right by me, so I go there all the time.
So what happened on the Gray Ghost? What did you experience?
There's lots of sailors that are still on the ship. There's some that don't know they're dead, and they talk to you. There's always this shadow figure that walks through the berthing area. I've never got him on camera, but you can see him with your eyes. He walks back and forth.
Really?
Yeah. And I was standing by the flare gun one time, and I didn't hear anything, but on my recorder, I heard a man say, "Ready and aim, okay." Now, that was probably residual, but that was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear the fire part.
Yeah, he didn't say fire, he just said okay. Yeah. That was a flare gun in a display case, so there must have been something attached to that one.
Yeah.
And then somebody on the ship says, She was talking about something, and she called it a boat. And I said, "Oh my gosh, don't call it a boat. That's an insult." And there must have been someone standing right behind me, and he goes, "Right."
I'm just saying for the Paramania record, that bye-bye that you heard was Dave's sound effect. It wasn't anything fishy.
I kind of figured it had to have been, because I heard that and I'm like, okay, what was that now? Oh my gosh.
Now what else do we have? How about the
Ohio State?
Ohio State Reformatory?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's in Mansfield, Ohio. It's a old haunted prison. There's all kinds of prisoners still hanging around there.
And you've been there
6 times.
6 times.
Oh, yeah.
So you like it?
I do. It calls back to me. Yes. Yes.
So you keep going back. What about it? Keeps you going back?
I don't know. I just feel at home there. Isn't that crazy?
What kind of stuff have you experienced there?
I was just there like a month ago. On the way back from Bobby Mackey's, we stopped there again.
Oh, what a trip!
Yeah.
Is there what happens there? Like what have you experienced that makes you want to keep going back?
Well, you'll see shadow figures, but I get lots of EBPs. They like to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and for a lot of people know, but they don't know, that's where Shawshank Redemption was filmed.
That's where they made the movie. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
Yeah. So that's fun when you walk around and you go, "Oh, that room was in that scene. That room was in that." That's kind of cool as you walk around. Oh, there's the safe, and there's the office, the parole office. It's really cool when you walk around.
And one place I didn't get to go when I was there, because it was a Journey of Hope fundraiser thing that they were doing, and it was the chapel, and everyone said the chapel was
Yes,
very
there's a lot of shadow figures up there. Yes, yes, and they were going to tear that prison down right after the movie.
They were?
Yeah, because I don't know if you ever saw, they talk about the toilet room where all the toilets are stacked in there. Well, in the one section, they've already cleaned the cells out, and they took all the toilets out. That's why they're in the room, because when the movie was over, they were going to just tear the place down.
I would hate to live in the toilet room.
Yeah, right?
You know what? Oh, no, we're out of time.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Hey, for more information on Cheryl's book, it's on Amazon.com. Was it Whispers from the Grave?
Whispers Beyond the Grave, yeah.
Whispers Beyond the Grave on Amazon. Next week's guest is Andrea Messich. Good night, listeners. Good night, Brock, Jennifer, Dave, Cheryl.
Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. It was so good to meet with you.
Yes.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
Brock. Good night, Jim. Good night, Dr. Dave.